Hello friends! Welcome to another episode of PENPAL with Me series on my channel. Today I'm gonna show you this bright green letter I've made for my pen pal, Anna. It has already made it to her, so I'm not worried about spoiling anything. The green envelope I'm using for this letter is handmade. I've made it quite a long time ago, but haven't had an opportunity to use it since then. As for the theme of this letter, I decided to make something tropical and vibrant. Also, it was heavily inspired by the art of the famous painter Frida Kahlo. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. I definitely plan on making more letters inspired by famous artists in the future. So if you'd like to see those, please subscribe to my channel and let me know who's your favorite artist in the comment section below. To decorate this letter, I used some paper scraps, I had some stickers and a doily. So a usual set of stationery for me. I've had most of these materials for months or even years now actually, and I haven't bought anything for my crafts for months now, which I'm kinda proud of. And here is a printout of Frida Kahlo's portrait. I think this will look pretty on the envelope. And here is how everything looks. Though I haven't finished decorating the envelope yet, I'm already quite happy with how it looks now. To add even more details, I decided to use some simple washi tape and a piece of a vintage book page. Of course, more is more, so I ended up adding some stickers. As you can probably tell, I'm not a minimalist when it comes to decorating my letters. A quote sticker is a must. I like to add this to kinda cheer up my pen pals, though sometimes these quotes make little sense. I also decided to add some flowers I previously cut out. I think they complemented the whole setup pretty nicely. I really missed making letters this bright, and most of the letters I've made recently were vintage themed kind of, so this time I totally went out my comfort zone and enjoyed making this letter. I hope Anna liked this letter as well. Now let's add the name to the envelope. I wrote it on a piece of sticky paper and added some white acrylic paint for highlights. And you might thought it's done now, but that only means you don't know me well enough. Now I will be adding some more details to the envelope. Firstly, these circle washi stickers. I bought them from AliExpress in 2021 and there are still a lot left. These ones are from AliExpress as well. This is a set. I didn't use many of them, as you can see. And these fake rhinestones are from the times I went to high school. And that was years ago, like literally years. But they are still sticky, which means I can use them for my crafting. I simply cut them from the pattern and stick to the surface. And those rhinestones were actually the final detail for this envelope. I'm not decorating the back because I'm leaving the place there for the stamps and the addresses. And now let's look at the final result. I'm very happy with how everything turned out. It looks exactly how I imagined. Time to work on the flipbook or folder. I'm not sure how you call it, but I personally use both words. And this is what I pre-made. I used a pastel paper and some glitter paste. And now all we need to do is to put a window and decorate this folder a little. For the window, I'm using a transparent packaging from some crafting materials. And I'm measuring it so it fits perfectly here. Now I'm cutting all the excess and making sure it's the right size. And once I'm happy with the result, I glue it down to the borders of the paper. I prefer using a professional binding glue so I can be sure nothing falls apart or detaches. To cover the edges and make them look a little bit prettier, I'm using this washi tape. See how it immediately looks way better than it did before? Let's pay some attention to the front of the folder now. Here I'm adding some leaves I previously cut out of scrapbooking paper. With this folder, I'm trying my best to make something that can be reused. Since I know Anna is a genius of reusing crafting materials and making beautiful envelopes out of everything, magazines, calendars, you name it. I'm always mesmerized by her creations. And I hope this flipbook will be easy to reuse as well. I'm curious if you reuse your PENPAL's creations or just store them somewhere. Let me know in the comment section, please. I'd love to chit-chat with you there. Here I'm adding some half beads, and that will be it for the front part of the flipbook. Now the back doesn't look very appealing to me, and that is why I made this glassine paper pocket to store some goodies and also cover up the back side of the leaves I glued to the front. To hold it in place, I used some double-sided sticky tape. Looks much better, right? Of course, I couldn't leave it non-decorated, so here's a simple collage to make it a little cuter. These days, I feel so inspired to craft and create, but the heat is overwhelming here, and I personally can't stand it. I would definitely prefer to live somewhere when there's no summer at all or it's not as hot. I can't wait for the fall and winter to come, honestly. Does anyone else feel the same about summer? Because it seems to me that most of my friends actually like it a lot. I've had this embroidery thread since I was 11 or 12 probably, but I'm not a big fan of embroidery myself, so I mostly use it for other crafting. And this time I'm using it at the same belt to hold the letter for Anna. So I'm making two holes in my flip book, and yes, I'm using tweezers to do that. If you plan on doing the same, please be very careful. This particular type of tweezers can be very sharp, and I've been there quite a few times before, so I know from my own experience. Now I'm just taking the thread through the holes. And making a bow to keep it in place. It's a simple way to hold your letter and some bigger goodies like book pages or paper ephemera in place. And your pen pals can also reuse a thread if they do embroidery, for example. Fun fact, I had to redo this because I didn't take the measurements correctly, so I highly recommend you to check everything before. And if you thought we are done here, then you're almost right. The only thing I wanted to add is another thread. This one will hold some stuff that I don't want to fold. And it's supposed to be a Christmas kind of a thread because it has two traditional colors and is usually used in winter for packing gifts and all. But I've had this for some time now and winter isn't that close, plus the colors seem to fit in here, so I decided why not using it now. I've always been a hoarder, but this year I decided to use more of the stuff that I have. I really want to get rid of some scraps and things that I have had for years now, so I try to incorporate them into my crafting as much as possible. Here I am gluing the thread to the back of the folder and making sure it's secure with these stickers you've seen me using in every video before. They're not only good for decorating purposes, but also can help to hold something like this in place. And now we're done. So it's time to add some extras to the folder. Finally, I know. The first thing here is a postcard that actually inspired this whole letter. I didn't decorate or sign it, so Anna can reuse the postcard. And here's a sticker sheet from my shop, Nomad Post, and some stickers on a sticker release paper, which can be reused as well. Also, this time I decided to add a small playlist for Anna, though I don't do this often. Some scrapbooking paper will go directly to the glycerin pocket. Vintage book pages is always a good idea. And now I'm adding some more different small things like die cuts, stickers, memos, smaller ephemera, and scrapbooking paper pieces. I tried to find the ones that will fit the whole color scheme of the letter, so most of these are green. I hope Anna will get some use out of them. I really enjoy assembling my letters. It's always such a fun for me, and therefore I hope my pen pals also like to open my letters. Here I'm adding some more things for Anna. I like to send some handmade die cuts because I make them myself, so they're one of a kind, and it feels like a special touch to the letter. Of course, I had to send Anna some fun tea bag. This one seemed to fit the theme perfectly. And here are the washi samples I'm sending with this letter. The last items here are these wax seals. They're also handmade by me. And a small cutout. And that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if so, please feel free to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, or even subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching and spending your time with me. Have a wonderful day and stay creative.